American men's basketball coach Jeff Jones, who leads the Eagles into the tournament as the number 3 seed and will play host to number 6 Army on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Americans 19-10 overall and finished 10-4 in the Patriot League. Coach Jones, take it away.
Well, you know, it's really hard to believe that it's tournament time now. It seemingly, you know, when practice started in October, you know, that seems like it was just right around the corner. For whatever reason, the season seems to have gone by so quickly. The Patriot League regular season was competitive as usual. You know, I certainly want to you know, take my hat off to Bucknell. You know, they've had such a terrific year, and you know they've taken everybody's best shot, and they've been able to obviously have a terrific year and win the regular season title, which in some ways is an even bigger accomplishment than you know than winning the tournament. You know, we're excited about tournament play. It is an exciting time of year, and you know, we certainly are very well aware that the game on Wednesday against Army is going to be a really hard-fought game, particularly in the game up at West Point. You know, I thought you know it was a very competitive game, and we probably played for about a 10-minute stretch. About as well as we've played all year long, and we needed every bit of that. So, you know, I think our guys are excited. Hopefully, we'll have a couple really good practices to prepare for Wednesday night's game.
Question for Jeff Jones?
Hey, Jeff. Ken McMillan with the Times-Herald Record.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
Good, Jeff. In both those games against Army, the one thing that your team did great was you really clamped down on them hard and took control of the first halves, and it made your life a little easier in the second half. So how important is it to get off to a really good start on that game?
Well, I thought the game here in D.C., you know, both teams really were playing with a lot of intensity at the defensive end, and it was kind of a struggle. And then we had a little bit of a spurt to give us some breathing room. I was very disappointed with our effort in the second game, the game up at Army. I thought Army came out and kind of established themselves as the aggressors in that game. I think, you know, we came out in the second half, and as I said, I thought there was a stretch there where we played, you know, just about as well as we've played all year. So, you know, I think with them, you know, they're so dangerous. They've got the 3-point shooters. You know, there's some tough matchups, and their point guards, Lennox in particular, really puts a lot of pressure on you in transition. You know, trying to get deep penetration. We've just got to make sure that we stick to kind of what we've been harping on with them in both the regular season games. Is that we have to get back in transition, because they can make you pay, and they can make you pay very quickly.
When your team is on offensively, what is it that your team does very well?
To be honest with you, I think we're at our best offensively when we're doing a really good job at the defensive end, and we're not having to face a set defense each time down the floor. You know, when we've got, obviously Charles Hinkle has had an outstanding year, but when we've got Danny Munoz being aggressive, and Troy Brewer and Blake Jolivet and Tony Rublicki, I think having multiple contributors and not just relying on Charles Hinkle's points makes us a more difficult team to defend.
Mm-hmm. Can you just add a little bit more about Charles Hinkle and his season and what kind of player he is?
Charles has had an outstanding senior year. He's kind of filled the void. Obviously, when Troy Brewer was hurt, you know, he wasn't really able to be the same player that we had seen in the preseason. So Charles Hinkle really stepped up, and I think he embraced that role as kind of the go-to guy. And he's been, if not our hardest worker, certainly one of our hardest workers, and has led by example. And it's not just a matter of him, going out there and scoring. He's trying to help the team through his work ethic and all the different areas of his game.
Jeff, how do you guard against any bit of overconfidence, since both of your wins were by double digits, including one by 24? How do you guard against overconfidence?
For those who were around our program 3 years ago, I believe it was, we had beaten Army in the regular season both times by over 30 points, and we flat out, in the first round of the tournament, we flat out got lucky. Brian Gilmore hit 2 threes in the last couple minutes, and we squeaked by with a win. I think anybody that remembers that, and will certainly, if need be, remind them that the regular season is done, and what happened in the regular season, you could hopefully learn some lessons from that contest, but you can throw the results out. There's a lot more emotion, there's more passion, there's more pressure, and so I don't care who you are, what your seed is, you better be ready to play your best. And sometimes you're not going to play your best, but whatever it is, you've just got to find a way to survive and advance. And I got a hard time believing that any of our guys would have any semblance of overconfidence.
How dangerous is Ella Ellis?
Very. He's had a great year. He's extremely deserving of the first team honor. He's a guy that in some ways is very similar to Charles Hinkle, because he can score in different ways. He kind of creates some matchup problems, and yet he plays so hard. He's not just a guy that scores. He does other things. So we've tried to pay a lot of attention to him and make sure that we try to make him work. I'm not sure that you stop him, but we try to make him work for everything that he gets, because he is such a he's a very good scorer. But I think the biggest thing about him is he just competes.
I asked Dave Paulson earlier, what do you think about the quality of the league this year? Is it top heavy, or are you seeing more depth all the way down?
I don't think that it's the deepest that the league has ever been, but at the same time, I think it is obviously it's got some balance. It's very competitive, and I don't think it's a situation where there's anybody that can kind of just kick back and expect to roll to the Patriot League title. Bucknell, I give them credit because they took everybody's best shot, and obviously. They weren't perfect going through the regular season, but when it counted most, they've really responded. So I think they're an outstanding team, and it's going to be a great tournament, and I wouldn't be surprised if there were some upsets. I think it's certainly not out of the possibility.
You like your team's chances, of course.
You know what we've got to do is we got to go out there and we got to compete and kind of do the same things that we've done all year long. I don't think that that we're going to be looking past anyone. We've just got to take that next game and make sure that we're ready to play as well as we possibly can.